Hey guys, how's it going? Today I just wanted to give you a quick video to... Hey guys, how's it going? Today I wanted to do just a quick video on what's in my camera bag. So we're going to be going through some of the kit that I use specifically on a wedding. So when I'm shooting a wedding, the kind of stuff that I'm going to be taking along with me. We'll go through some lenses, some cameras, some of the other kind of random stuff that I bring along with me. I hope you enjoy it. So this specific video is more along the lines of my wedding bag. You guys may know that I shoot in the studio, but also I shoot weddings and commercial jobs. But today I'm just going to be focusing primarily just on what's in my wedding bag, because that's the only time that I tend to take around quite a bit of kit. Okay, so let's get to it. I mean, firstly, I want to start off by apologizing if the sound's really bad. I'm in my studio and it's really echoey. I definitely need to get some curtains in here or something. So we might as well start off with the actual bag. So this is the bag that I use. It's a Vinter S series travel bag, I think it is. But yeah, specifically designed for photographers. I had another bag before this that didn't work that well. I've kind of struggled with bags in the past because I've come from DSLRs to like mirrorless cameras. A lot of like the kind of DSLR bags that I would have used in the past, they're just too big. Everything just kind of like flops about in the camera bag, and lenses are smashing into each other and getting damaged. So when I was looking for this bag, I was looking for something that was really specific to the Fuji system. Something that could, hold a decent amount of lenses within the bag, but still stay small. I'm kind of style conscious when I'm at a wedding. I really wanted to get something that I like the look of, so I like the straps, I love the color. I think it goes with the kind of stuff that I wear at a wedding. So it's got this back compartment here, which is super handy. And this is where I can basically get all my kit. This bag's kind of marketed towards photographers, but also kind of like almost like travelers, because all of this stuff can be taken out and it can just be used as a normal backpack. So you've got all these little compartments in here that I basically keep all my lenses, all my bodies in, and it's just super handy. Like you can kind of customize this really well. There's all Velcro down the sides here, so it's kind of perfect for what I need. So you can kind of retrofit it to fit DSLRs, I'm sure you could, but it's just great for the Fuji system. They don't kind of rattle around too much in there, which is great. It's got a cool little like laptop sleeve there. It's also got another like cool little compartment in here, just for like your extra bits and bobs. This is where I would keep like my SD cards, pack of tissues because it's like cold in England, SD cards, like a few kind of business cards, chewing gums, because no one likes a photographer with bad breath, right? So, good bag. Okay, let's move on to gear. Might as well start with the camera. XT2, Fuji XT2. I've got two of these, one of which I'm filming with now. I've also got an X Pro 2, which I don't use for weddings anymore, but I used to. That's kind of just my everyday camera. But I've been shooting Fuji for, I think, just over 3 years now. I'll be honest, I prefer the look of the X Pro 2. That's like my go-to camera. It took a long time to make the switch from the X Pro 2 to the XT2. But I do think the XT2's got a better viewfinder, it's got better functionality. I do find myself changing ISO all the time, so that I like this dedicated dial on the XT2 for changing that. So that's super handy for me to have that. The X Pro 2 kind of has it, but you have to kind of lift it up and fiddle, and it was just a pain. The main reason why I went down the route of the XT2s though was the tilty out screen. I just love this. I'm pretty much shooting from the hip all the time these days, just snapping candids, capture those natural moments that happen throughout a wedding day that aren't kind of impeded by the photographer kind of being there and kind of putting the camera up high and stuff like that. I don't know. So in a circumstance where I want to photograph a group of people having fun, having a joke, something like that, and I feel like if I bring the camera up to my eye, it might bring attention to myself and kind of ruin the moment. I'll just flip out the screen, kind of wait for my moment, shoot from the hip, and that's working really well for me. Got to have the soft release button as well. Got to be in red. So that's that. Just a quick note, I do use a grip for these. I haven't got the biggest hands in the world, but I do like that extra bit of grip. So I got this grip off Amazon. I can't remember the make, I'm not even sure if it's written on here. Meek? M-E-K-E? M-E-I-K-E? I'm not quite sure. Anyway, it's on Amazon, and I love this. Not only has it got, rather than needing a coin, you've got like a little kind of flippy out thing here so that you can unscrew, but also it's got like separate holes so that you can add in another tripod mounted thing, but it's not going into the same thread. I think that's a brilliant idea. On the day, I don't really like using straps if I can get away with it. I hate neck straps. I just feel like they get in my way and they're kind of a pain, especially if I'm only shooting with one camera and I want to kneel over and the other camera's swinging around. I did have the sort of cheap version of the Moneymaker. I can't remember what it was called now. Anyway, I did have the kind of Moneymaker kind of strap system, which were the kind of like leather braces that go around here, and your camera's attached to those, and they kind of swung freely and you could let go. First when I ever used them, I leant over and both cameras just smashed into each other, broke screens and all sorts, so that was a good indication that it didn't suit me at all. I think these are the Spider Black Widow holsters. I'm not sure, I can't remember the names of them now, but they're these clippy things that clip onto your belt, like super lightweight. These just clip on here and they're just perfect. So I've got one on each hip, and that's kind of what I shoot with. Let's go through lenses. Let's start with everybody's favorite, the 23mm, which is the 35mm equivalent, 1.4. It's a great lens, it's a great all-rounder. For a lot of people, this is like, if you could only shoot with one lens, this would be it. I'm torn between this and the 35mm or 50mm full-frame equivalent. But yeah, great lens, 1.4, it's kind of like your everyday kind of, you can get great portraits, you can get great wide shots with this. It's pretty much never off my camera. So that's the 23mm 1.4. And then I've got the 35mm f2, this tiny little lens. I got this recently. I did have the 1.4 version previously, and I'm not sure whether I miss it. I think I do, but I don't know because I never really did a full comparison. I kind of bought this and then sold the other one. It was a bit battered, to be fair. But I'm thinking I might want to get the 1.4 again. I don't use it a great deal, but when I did have the 1.4, I used it all the time. But this one, because I'm still not 100% sure, it doesn't come on the camera that often, but it's always in my camera bag. It's a great little portrait lens. Yeah, cool lens, I like it. I like the lens hood. I think this was like the aftermarket lens hood. I think I bought this off Amazon. It's the official Fuji one. The one that came with it was garbage, it looked horrible. So that's the 35mm f2, 16mm. Which is like a 24mm equivalent for full frame cameras. Beast of a lens. Like I use this, I would say 50% of the day. Super wide, so 1.4, so super fast lens. What I really love about this lens is just getting close, getting super close to groups of people, little moments that are going on. When there's a massive group of people around the wedding couple, and I just want to get in super close, I want to get in on those moments. So that's when I bring out the 16mm and just pop it over people's heads, or get in really close so I can get like the whole scene, get lots of detail and closeness. So it's a great lens for that. Also, I love it for the dance floor. I love wide dance floor shots. That really kind of suits my style. So 16mm is great for lots of different things. And it's probably one of my favorites. 56mm 1.2. It's an awesome lens. This is probably one of the first lenses that I bought. I knew it was going to be a beast. Like amazing bokeh. Great for candids, great for portraits, just great for dropping that focus. I use this a lot, basically in any scenario where I don't really either can't get close to what I'm photographing or I don't feel comfortable doing it. It's a bit of a rogue lens. The 10 to 24mm, it's an f4 across the board, image stabilized. It's like basically it's a super wide lens. I think it's the equivalent to like the 16 to 35 full frame kind of lens. I use this sometimes for the same reason that I might use the 16mm, just getting really close, but you get a lot of distortion with this lens when you open it wide open to 10mm. I quite like that distortion, I quite like that kind of bonkers look when I'm shooting like really close up, super wide groups of people. I use this a lot on the dance floor. When I want to get really wide shots of the dance floor, of all of the stuff that's going on, I might pop some flash up in the corners. This is a great lens for that. The only downside to this lens is it is an f4, so like low light it's not great for, but most of the time I'm pulling this out at the night when I'm using flash, or if I'm out in the day I want to get like big wide scenes. in which case f4 is fine, or more. Great little lens, I love this thing. That's another cool lens. This lens doesn't stay in my bag with me during the day. This is probably the most expensive lens that I own, and the one that I use the least, which is the 50 to 140 f2.8. So it's your kind of classic full frame 24 to 70 equivalent. It's just a beast. It's so massive, and when you slap this on something like an X-T2 or an X Pro 2, it just looks ridiculous. But I see the benefit of it. Look at that. It's just crazy. Like, I just feel ridiculous using this. This is like the least subtle lens ever. It does come in handy. If I get to a church and the vicar or the priest says, okay, you're allowed to take pictures, but you're only allowed to stay at the back. And I'm like, oh man. That's when this comes out. I grab this out of my car, it's in a separate bag. Doesn't stay with me all day, but it is in a little separate bag. I very rarely use this, to the point where I might sell it, I don't know. So that was the 50 to 140 2.8. Batteries. I've got a ton of batteries in my bag. The Fuji system notoriously sucks for battery life. I probably go through 5 in a day, and I'm quite considerate with my batteries. Like, I'll turn the camera off when I don't use it. When I first started shooting with the Fuji system, I used to shoot it like I shot my Canons. The camera would be on all day. Like, I'd never turn it off. It would just be on, running all the time, ready to shoot. And I would just rinse batteries. I remember the first wedding that I shot with the Fuji system, I was starting to get really scared by the time like the speeches were being done, because I was literally down to my last battery. I had no backups from there. But yeah, I've always got like 6 of these in my camera bag, and I've got spares in the van as well, just in case. Flash guns. I use the Godox V850 Vings. Is that? V850s. They take their own specific battery as opposed to AA's. That's a pro and a con for a few reasons. Like, I like the fact that I haven't got to carry around lots of AA batteries. But I suppose the downside is if it did run out, like, everybody can find the AA batteries, but you're not going to find this in any shops. This one in particular sits on top of the camera. That's why I've got it stickered up so that I don't like get them all mixed up. So this one sits on the top of the camera. And then I've got, bear with me, and then I've got 2 of these, which I have in their own special little bag. I don't do a great deal of portrait stuff with off-camera flash, but I do like to maybe pop these out at the night to do some backlighting. Just kind of get creative with flash in the evening, because there's plenty of time to be doing that on the dance floor. I couldn't even tell you what these stands are. Oh, Calumet, the little Calumet stands. Really lightweight. These flash units pretty much never leave these stands. I literally just whip the battery out and it's good to go. So that's my flash setup. 1 Godox on the camera, and I've got 2 others that sit on stands and pretty much never leave the stands. How could I forget you? Last but not least, I've got the Polaroid 636 Closeup. This is kind of a new addition to my camera bag. I just play around with it really. Sometimes I'll incorporate this into my portrait and do some like creative stuff with the portraits, depending on how much time we've got and what's going on. But I just love it. It's a great little camera. It's something to play around with on the day. Disclaimer, it doesn't actually go in my Vinta bag. It kind of just sits in the van. But I thought it was worth mentioning because I do take it to every wedding. I haven't got it with me here, but I do also take a Surface Pro little kind of tablet laptop, so that when the couple are having their meal, I'll grab a beer, grab my own food, and I'll grab my laptop out with my little hard drive, which is a WD My Passport Ultra. And that's when I do like my initial backup for the first half of the day. I think that's it. I hope this was helpful, especially to any of you guys who are thinking about switching over to Fuji when shooting weddings. I was watching videos like this when I first made the switch, and it really helped me out, because it is a challenge switching from DSLRs to the mirrorless system, and there are certain benefits, there are certain pitfalls that you need to be aware of, I guess, before you do that switch. So I thought I'd put my own little spin on the what's in my bag kind of video. If you guys have got any questions for me about any of the kit, if you need any help, if you feel like I've not explained anything very well, you're more than welcome to drop me a comment, get in touch. I'd really appreciate if you subscribed and liked the video as well. I hope the production value's been okay in this one. I really hope the sound's been okay. I know it's really echoey in here. I hope that's come across okay. So I'll see you in the next video. Peace.